Now that we've got your attention. I love it. Right about 10:30, that's when everything starts to lock in. I love it. So today we're going to be talking about the theology of oneness. Many people have come to this idea of oneness through Eastern teachings, for thousands of years. But you don't know that it really is the thread that runs through every single religion, every faith, every spiritual practice, every philosophy, every true idea or system of thought has this idea of oneness, this experience of oneness at its core. And the attempt to explain or to share that experience has been I feel, the highest calling of humankind, of the individual, is to not only connect with this oneness, but to invite the seemingly separated parts of ourselves, which is everyone else, into that oneness. To recognize you as myself. To recognize God as myself. But moreover, I can only do that by recognizing the least of these as myself. For how you have treated the least of these, you have treated the Christ in you. How you respond to the least or the less fortunate in our world is how you're responding to yourself. And so the question is, how can we integrate the truth of oneness into the apparent condition of separation? That's the goal, is to integrate it. The theology of oneness does not escape the Christian tradition at all. It is woven throughout. The root cause of every problem, I say this a lot, every problem that we face as human beings is our false sense of separation from each other and from God itself. That's the root cause of all our problems. So let's go to the root cause and fix it there. Let's fix it within ourselves. Let's make a determination that it's what we want. Because if it's already true in the universe, in principle, it will be ours if we claim it. The first thing that I want to say is it is our greatest need. It's the greatest need of humankind to heal our false sense of separation and return to oneness. Now, oneness is not the easiest thing to teach or talk about because it's an experience. I want to read from a great unity book. We use this book, The Five Principles. We use it in our membership class, and we use it quite often in a lot of our teachings and classes. It's from Ellen Davenport. And she says, "A God of oneness is immanent and transcendent. That is, within us and all around us. Principle 1 in unity maintains that we are one with God, not separate, not being watched, not judged, but immersed in the divine. As the Apostle Paul told the Athenians, we live and move and have our being in God. And in this oneness, God lives and moves and has expression in us. In oneness, God has expression in us. In separation, we're blocking that expression. We're not allowing the divine flow of God's love to move through us. Now, the Buddhists, Satras, envisioned a net stretching in all directions. This is through all traditions. The Hopis spoke of the spider grandmother who spun a great web connecting all things. To the ancient Chinese, it was the Tao, or the flow of the universe. We talked about welcome to the flow. The Tao is the flow of the universe. The hymn of creation from the Hindu Rig Veda speaks of the absolute, called Brahman, and describes it as an ultimate, eternal, and experience beyond human description. This is the ground of being. This is the infinite reality. We bear the names of God, the Holy Spirit, the universe, the way, the Father, Mother, Creator, Divine, One Mind, Source, Energy, First Cause, and, thanks to Star Wars, the Force. But it has also been named Allah, Buddha, Christ, Kali, Shiva, Krishna, Kuan Yin. All of these are concepts of the divine. Physicist Max Planck, the originator of quantum physics or quantum theory, spoke of the conscious and intelligent mind. Astronaut Edgar Mitchell called it nature's mind. In scientific terms, it is a field of pure potential, an energy that underlies all creation. It is all that is. Now you can imagine that it's a little difficult to describe or speak of all that is. How do you fit it into your little limited concepts and your limited thinking about yourself? Even if you get a little bit of that idea or experience in you, it's going to expand your thinking. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, "A mind that is stretched by a new idea will never return to its old dimensions." It's impossible because you've already stretched it this far. It's not going to go back. It's going to keep going. And then it'll take another step and another step and another step in expanding. And your awareness will continue to expand. But it will expand in love and in joy and in the recognition of our oneness, of our shared reality. It will never expand if you try to hold on to this idea of separateness. I was teaching this last week in Unity of Central Mass. We were doing a workshop. It's called Miracle-Minded Living. Living as if these principles of truth are actually our foundation for action, our foundation of thought, our foundation of interaction with each other, our foundation for our relationships, our foundation for the work we do. What if we just took spiritual principle as the foundation of everything we did? And that was the motivation for why I'm here, the motivation for why we talk to one another, the motivation for everything I do. Miracle-minded living. I am practical and I expect miracles. But the next step, as the Dalai Lama would say, I don't expect miracles. I depend on them. I depend on them each and every day. That's what I'm basing my life on, is miracles. In order to do that, it's important to let go of what has been holding me back. What's been holding me back the most is my tendency to separate myself from others. So, of course, the reconciliation of this, or the integration of this, is to allow our oneness to be present with us in our apparent separation. The God of oneness, according to Ellen, is both immanent and transcendent. So it's you right here, right now, in your apparent separation. But it's transcendent. You are transcendent even in your apparent separation. I had a teacher who used to say, I teach transcendental existentialism. I'm like, great, I'm hanging out with you. Tell me about that. Because it's both at the same time. You can't separate it out and go, well, it's this or it's this. No, it's everything. It's all that is happening all the time. And all time is happening right now. This is the only moment we have. We've been saying this since the 60s. Be here now. We're talking with Brenda. Brenda says, I still have that book. How many of you still have that book? Look at this. You've just dated yourselves.
And if you don't get it, you should get it.
But it's not just the concept that we can be here now, and there is only now. It's the actual truth that all time is going on all the time. Even Einstein, who was very pragmatic, said, I want to know the mind of God. And he understood through his investigation, scientific investigation, that all time is happening right now. That it's all happening now. That time and space are not separate. That it's one thing called space-time. It's not linear. It's a fabric. It's like the grandmother spider who weaves the web in the Hopi tradition. The web of creation that connects us all. And when you see computer images of what they're talking about in space, that's what it looks like. It looks like this giant web. And it's wonderful because it begins to expand my mind out of separation, out of linear thinking. We just keep going back to this incredibly limited way of thinking, and we can't possibly understand what Jesus was teaching or even what Paul was teaching if we just are stuck in limited linear thinking. We want to expand our thinking. We want to take a deeper look at the idea. It's happening. Idea. You just took the R right off of the word car and put it on the end of idea. And you've lived here too long when you start ordering pizza. I have an idea to order some pizza. Okay, sorry. I noticed even Mary Lou was getting a little New England accent. And she's from Alabama. Nobody escapes. I went to school. I had diction coaches. I had classes in theater to teach me how to speak properly. I had people moving my mouth with their hands. You have to move this. You have to use it. And 6 months after I moved back to the Cape, I was immediately parking my car in the yard. Don't park your car in the yard because the sprinkler system's not going to work. He didn't want me to break the sprinklers. I'm sorry, but that's what he told me. And I continue to park my car in the yard because I've lived here for more than 6 months. But I digress. I love it. I love the challenge of noticing what I'm doing and attempting to go in a different direction. So here's an interesting idea I want to share with you. To each is given the manifestation of Spirit for the common good. Now this is right out of the Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 12. One body, many members. You know the scripture? Okay, some of you do. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for what? The common good. That's why you have the gifts of the Spirit. That's why you are given spiritual principles to give it to the common. It's always for the common good because we are one. So to one is given through the Spirit the gift of wisdom. To another, maybe the gift of knowledge, according to that same Spirit. To another, faith, by the same Spirit. To another, gifts of healing, by that same Spirit, by the one Spirit. To another, working of miracles. To another, prophecy. To another, the gift of discernment. But all these are activated by the one and the same Spirit. For just as the body has many members, and all those members make up this one body, though many members, they are one body, so it is with Christ. For in one Spirit we are all baptized into one body. We were all made to drink of the same Spirit. And that's the end of the story. You know how the scripture goes. Each part of the body has its own function. The hand can't say to the foot, I don't need you. The eye can't say to the hand, I don't need you. How am I going to... I can see what I'm doing. My feet have to take me to where I'm going so that my hands can grab. I need everything. I need the heart and the lungs and the liver, but they all need to be working, doing their job perfectly, knowing that every other part is perfect doing its job. And they're in perfect communication. So the hand doesn't say, I'm going to be a foot someday. You know, I'm working towards being a foot. That's going to be great. I love it. Someday I'll be a foot too. The eye's going to go, yeah, the foot and the hand both say, someday I'll be an eye. I can see everything. Not any of those parts wants to be the brain, because that has to think about all those things. Keep everything in line. Nobody wants to do that job. But all the parts work because they're doing their own job, and they're all part of the whole. And if one part suffers, you feel it. You're the whole part. I get a little splinter in my finger. I'm going, I got a splinter. Every part of me is reacting. And so it should be with us. When one part of humanity is hurting, all of us should be reacting to that and be able to heal that one part that needs our help. We are all one in the Spirit. And that this is the integration of the reconciliation. You are still God. You are still as God created you. But be yourself. Be exactly who you were created to be. You know, I'm so glad our neighbors are here today, because I've started a prayer for the neighborhood. We do this a lot in our meditation and in our opening prayer. We see the light connecting to all of us. Let's do it now. We see the light in this room. And let that light go out from your heart to the one sitting next to you, and the one sitting behind you, the one sitting in front of you. Allow this light to create one body of light in this room. Feel it. See it. And now allow it to expand out so it includes and surrounds this whole building, so that everyone in this building is blessed by the light, comforted and kept in peace. We send this light and this peace out now throughout our neighborhood, to each and every home, to each house, to every person, whatever they're doing, whoever they are. We surround you in this peace, and we know that you're feeling it now. All the people in our neighborhood and all the people who work close to us and all the businesses, we bless you now, and we see you blessed. And we claim that blessing for you and for all your family, your loved ones. And we send this blessing out now as a beautiful big ray of light to surround all of Cape Cod, all of Massachusetts, out into the oceans to bless the animals and the water, up into the sky to fill our atmosphere with healing light. And we let it surround every part of the earth now and every being in the earth, to let them know that they too are cared for, that they are blessed, and that we are one with you. And we will continue to bless each other in our recognition of the divine within. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. For we are one, and we need each other. And so now we all let this light surround the earth, and we let ourselves come back to the awareness of this room. And we know that we have been given the manifestation of this gift of the Spirit for the common good. For just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many are one body, so it is with Christ. We are one body in Christ, in the light. And as we let our light shine ever brighter, the body is healthy. The body is healthy and vibrant, and is able to go out into the world in greater measure. And so in order to rise, we have to lift others up. We have to know that they too are so valuable to us that we need to allow them to drink of this one Spirit as well. Mahatma Gandhi said something very important. It was, the true measure of a society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. And I can't wait around for other people to do it. I have to do it. I have to be the one to be very aware of my environment and how, first of all, how I'm treating myself, how I'm talking to myself, how each and every day, how am I caring for myself? And then, how am I helping you? How am I caring for my brothers and sisters? How do we treat our most vulnerable members? and do everything that we can to help our paid and elected servants do the same thing. Because I work pretty hard I think we all do work pretty hard for our money. And if we're going to be paying taxes, our paid and elected servants, they're not leaders, they're servants. They are our employees. They should be doing the job of protecting the most vulnerable members of our society. That's the society I want to live in. Okay, enough of that. Since y'all got serious on me. No, but I am serious about it. I really am. But since we are all part of the one, we have to do it. The one mind, the one heart, the one love, the one light that we are. I have to see that in those that I hold separate from me as well. If I don't hold the same philosophical, religious, or political views that you do, I have to hold you in the light and see you one with me. It's not by making somebody wrong are we ever going to come together. We just aren't going to get there that way. We see demonstrations of how it's not working right now, and we think we're going to fix it, but the same thinking that caused the problem in the first place. It's never going to work that way. We need to love our enemies. We need to, if we have them, and then we won't have any. Isn't that great? When you love the ones that you don't agree with, pretty soon they're your friends. And you realize, boy, we do have a lot more in common than I thought. We really do, because we want to protect each and every person in their right to discover the light within them. And it's pretty hard if you're down and out and nobody wants to help you to feel the light within you. But once you start to get a little bit of help, wow, it just builds in you. And you start to remember who you are and that your safety is not in the world, but your safety is in God. It's in the light, right, Georgia, right? It's in God. It's not in the world. It's not in things. It's not going to fix the problem out there. Because really what's out there is a reflection of what's going on in here. And so here's my proposal to you guys, because I'm trying to do this in my life each and every day, is that build up what's in here and your connection to who you are and to the divine and to the perfection of God. Build that up until it's so strong in you, you have to give it away. Till you're so full that you're overflowing and you have nowhere else to go except to give it to your neighbor, except to share it with your neighbor, except to love the one who's next to you, except to go out and serve others and feed the hungry and house the poor and do whatever you can do each and every day. Thank you, Kathy, for your incredible service. She does it in quiet ways, and I'm so grateful. We have members who are needing care. She's the head of the community care team, and she's going way beyond anything that we had thought we were supposed to be doing or could do. To care for our members, to care for people who you don't know what struggle they're going through. There could be somebody who was just about to make an early transition, to make an early exit just 2 weeks ago. And she's sitting right here, blessed beyond measure. I have to attribute it to prayer and spiritual energy and spiritual healing and the angels guiding the hands of the doctors. She did have an operation for 5 hours. I'm not saying don't go to the doctors. I'm rambling a little bit here, but the reason I am is because we are all one, and when we send our prayer energy to someone, it really works. It really, really works. I've never seen you happier and more bright in your whole life, and you're almost dead 2 weeks ago. I can't believe it. And it's a matter of attitude. She believes it. It's a matter of attitude and trusting in the infinite. And so when we remember that we are one, prayer works. When we remember that we are one, the principles of prosperity work. When we remember that we are one, forgiveness works. When we remember that we are one, there is nothing that can stop us from sharing our love and joy in the world. The only thing that will ever stop you is forgetting that you are one and thinking that you are separate and attacking those outside of you for your problems. No, it's not like that. There are no problems in the mind of God. So let's stay in the mind of God. Let's stay right there. Drink in the truth, right? I love it how it says we're made to drink of that one Spirit. We're made to drink of that same Spirit. That's what it means. Drink it in. Experience that one Spirit. That's where all our healing is. That's where all our prosperity is. That's where all the solution to all our problems in the whole world could possibly be, is in that place of oneness. And that's the theology of oneness, is that we are one, even in our seeming apparent separation. We are still one. We are still one. And your part is so important. It's essential to all the rest. You are essential. There is no one that can be left out of your reality, of your blessing. You have to give it to everyone in order to receive it. So the last thing I want to say about this is the way we rise is by lifting up others. That's the way that we remember that we're one. We actually take some action toward the idea that we believe it's true. We take some action, some positive action in that direction. That I do believe we are one. I absolutely know it. I don't just believe it like, oh yeah, it might be a great idea, or I think I can believe that. No, I know it. I am certain that we are one because it's my experience. I'm certain that there is nothing that can separate us from the love of God or from each other. And so I'm just going to make a proposal to you guys, is that you act like you're one. Act like you're connected to everyone. Live your life as if we are one. Live your life as if you are important. Live your life as if your part is essential to all the rest. And do what is yours to do. Like Charles Fillmore said, I wake up in the morning with zeal and enthusiasm to go forth to do what is mine to do today. And that's what I'm going to do each and every day. And I welcome you to do the same. Be one and be happy. So it is. Amen.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.